This is the 2026 Dodge Charger Scat Pack. Is it this car that you have been waiting for? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Now, as you know, these are no longer exclusively EVs. So those of you that are looking for some kind of a combustion engine with these Charger, this is definitely going to handle it for you. Now, this is the 6-cylinder version, but still a lot of power and torque. And I love how Dodge did such a great job with this Charger that it really looks very similar, at least to a degree, to the original models that were out there many decades ago. Although, when you look at your headlights, nobody thought about LED headlights back then, did they? LED headlights, you have LED daytime running lights, turn signal indicators, all of that's going to be here. We've got the upper and the lower grille. Our front splitter is going to be here. I like the color combination that we have with the gloss black, a little bit of a matte finish here, and the exterior color is called Destroyer Gray. Kind of a cool name. Sensors right here, obviously all over the vehicle to help you out with your safety features, all of that good stuff. And then the one thing I do wonder about, while this looks really nice, it's just cosmetic. It's going to have the 6-pack name on it right there, but that's cosmetic, so it's not actually functional. Seems like it should be. Now, this model is all-wheel drive. We'll come around here to the side and take a look at the 20-inch wheels. One thing about it being all-wheel drive is you can actually put it in rear-wheel drive. You can use a line lock, which all that does is lock the front wheels. The front tires are locked, so you can actually do a burnout with the rear tires. That's different from launch control. And we're going to have our Scat Pack B right here. That's going to be very prominently placed. I do like the color combination with the gloss black where it's placed on the mirrors. These are going to be manually folding. They're also going to be heated and power adjustable. They'll have blind spot monitoring built in. We can come around and show you that real quick. But one way or another, they're still going to get the job done for you. The only other thing that's missing there is that they also don't have the turn signal indicators built in. And here is your remote. Lock, unlock, remote start. Got your panic button right there. And a little bit more of that black finish up here on the roof to give it just a very sporty and performance-oriented look. I like the size of the windows here. They're pretty large. Should be easy to see out of. And then we work our way back. We're going to have our rear spoiler right here that really sets things off. And once again, LED lighting here on the rear. I like that the element goes all the way across as it does, but there's one difference. This is called the LED Hellfire taillights. Very interesting name right there. Once again, we're going to have our sensors right here. And if you look down here low enough, you do have the exposed exhaust outlets, or the tailpipes as we typically call them. Nice to see that that's here. Your Charger logo is going to be stamped into your rear bumper. Overall, a very nice look back here. But what's under the hood? Let's pop that and talk a little more about it. Take a look at this 3-liter twin-turbo high-output engine. It is a 6-cylinder engine, but that does not mean that it is weak when it comes to horsepower and torque. We're looking at 550 horsepower, 531 pounds-feet of torque, 0 to 60, 3.9 seconds. All of that's made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And if you're really careful, I know I couldn't do that with all this horsepower available to me. Here are your potential MPGs. 16 city, 23 highway, 19 combined, 5.3 gallons of gas. And in case anybody questions what engine is under the hood, here's all of your details on the window sticker. You can pause that and take a look for yourself. And with that thirsty 6-cylinder under the hood, let's talk about our gas tank details. It comes in at 17.5 gallons as far as your capacity goes. And driving distance in the city on a full tank of gas, 280 miles. That number goes to 402 miles out on the highway. No guarantees of that. You could be a little bit above, you could be a little bit below, depending on where you drive and how you drive. Let's talk about cargo capacity. First of all, if you come back here and you're wondering, how do you open this cargo area? There's a button right here. You can see that right there. A little bit hard to find if you're not familiar with it. We push that button, you'll hear that pop open, and then you can go ahead and open it yourself. And depending on if you have the rear seat backs in their upright position or not, we're looking at 22.8 up to 37.4 cubic feet as far as your space goes. You've got a little bit of cargo area lighting back here. Can have the cargo cover, which is removable, by the way, if you need to remove that. One thing that you won't find here, however, is a spare tire. There's a little bit of space here for storage, and your tire repair kit will be here. Tell me what you think about that particular part of the vehicle. The sticker price is $60,175. Let's see what else you get for that price. Now you'll notice when I showed you the roof earlier, there's no sunroof here. So not a whole lot to talk about with our upper console here. You can see what's there as far as that goes. Not too much going on. Here's your lighting. Obviously going to have that on both sides. And a sunglass holder up front. Nice to see that. And we'll work our way down. I like the red contrast stitching throughout the interior and the way this design is done as far as the dash area goes. It looks really nice. Has a nice racy look to it. There's your glove box, in case you're curious about that. Now, we'll move over to the passenger side door panel over there. That design's really nice. It is plastic, but it does look pretty nice. The armrest is nice and big. You're going to have a good sized door bin down there as well. And you can also, I'll show you on this side, you don't actually have a door handle. You actually have the button right here to open the door. But there will be a manual release available if you need that, if, again, the battery dies. Here's where you control your side view mirrors, right, left, and you can just leave that in the middle when you're not doing anything with that. Pretty easy to deal with. You've got your power windows here. One touch down, one touch up. On the driver and passenger side, you can lock and unlock the doors. Here's where you control your exterior lighting that we showed you earlier in the video. You can leave that on auto, or you can turn everything on. And this button right here, if you push that, it's going to open the hood for you. By the way, I told you about the manual release for opening these doors. If the battery dies, it's located right here. There you go. We'll also see right here the release for the steering wheel. It's tilt and telescopically adjustable. Take advantage of having that door open to show that to you. Everything for your cruise control over here, and then right here some more steering wheel mounted controls. Depending on what we need to know about, we can arrow through that. See all of that great information right there. On the rear of the steering wheel, you're going to have everything for your volume and what you listen to on this side and the volume on the other side. Shifter paddles will be here. A very nice modern look with your driver's display. I like that. It does a nice job. And something else that I like is how the screen center screen here is actually tilted a little bit or angled towards the driver. So that's nice. See, I paired with Apple CarPlay. You're going to have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto here, depending on what you need to listen to or what you want to do with that. You got quite a few different options here. You can add a page if you want to. You can also go through music, all that good stuff. Here's how I can get to CarPlay if I want to do that. And you can see some of your options here as far as it goes. Now, these are where your sensors are located. Remember, we talked about this sensor right up here earlier in the video, just to show you what's going on here. Quite a few different sensors in quite a few different areas, but it's nice to be able to see where they are and know what they do. We can come here to dashboard if we want to take advantage of that, depending on how we want things to look. And we can also come in here and change what's going on with the vehicle. If you want to go to sport mode, you can do that. We can also go to our sports setup right here, and you can see all of the individual areas that you can change depending on what it is you want to do. You can take care of all of that right here. We're going to do that just like that, just to show you what's going on in some of these aspects of the vehicle. I like that. We can customize things if we need to. We can go to custom setup right there. It's not difficult to learn or use, that's for sure. We can come back out of here. We're going to come to controls just to show you what's going on here, and then we can come over here and go to settings. Quite a few different things as far as that goes, so you can see what you've got. You've got your different things such as mirrors and wipers, cameras, all of that, clock and date. We can come in here and go right up here, display, drive theme, depending on what you want to do with that. You can come in here and got one little option right there as far as that goes. And all of our different apps are going to be right here where we can come and take a look at things when you hit that selection right down there. There you go. You can see Apple CarPlay connected. You can see what else is going on here as far as that goes. And I'm going to go into reverse. This is the only camera view that we're going to have as far as this particular model goes, but you can see what's going on where that is concerned. And then we work our way down to our air conditioning controls right here. So if you want to take advantage of that, obviously that's where you're going to do that. Nice to have the physical controls here. Our hazard light button is right here if we need to turn that on. And then we're going to have a few other little one-touch buttons here depending on what we need to turn on or off. We can do that. You've got your connectivity here, a couple of USB options. No wireless charging pad in this particular case. And here's your shifter. I'll let you take a look at that design. Very interesting as far as that goes. And you just pull on the front. There's a release right there that allows you to go into reverse, neutral, drive, and you can go right here and hit the L if you need to. That's pretty easy to deal with. The button to start and stop the engine is right here. Power parking brake. We're going to have our cup holders and then our center console. Now you can use that as an armrest if you want to. I'll go ahead and open that up. It opens this way, as you can see, towards the driver, and you can see that you have a little bit more connectivity as far as the the 12-volt power outlet goes. And how about an audio sample? You have the Alpine 9-speaker system here with the subwoofer. Let's give you a quick sample of how that sounds. Definitely sounds great in person. I hope my audio with my microphone does it justice. All right, here we go on the test drive. I'm not going to get on it super hard, but we'll give you a little bit of an option or opportunity to hear the exhaust. It actually pushes you back in the seat pretty well. Got up to the speed limit to the point that I get to test the brakes out somewhere above the speed limit, I should say. So we definitely are going to test the brakes a bit to slow back down. I've never had a speeding ticket in one of my videos. We're not going to change that today. But definitely a very fun car to drive. Nice, precise steering. You can tell that it wants to get up and go big time, even though I didn't get maybe a little bit beyond half throttle, we'll say. I didn't go too far beyond that, but it gets up and goes. But I tell you what, for me, it's not the 6-cylinder is not what I want. I'll go with the V8 any day. I love that sound, but I know for some people they might say, you know, Tom, I like the sound of a 6-cylinder. I will take that gladly any time over the V8 motors that are available. And one more little shot on the pedal. Not too much, just a little bit. It's a lot of fun to drive, that's for sure, but a great practical daily driver as well. Pretty easy to see out of, not too bad. I like the way that you can see out of the rear window with the rear view mirror. It's not any kind of an obstructed view or anything like that based on the angle. The technology here is easy to learn. The gas pedal's easy to deal with. Now, for me personally, I did have to adjust a little bit to the brake pedal. It seemed a little bit aggressive to me. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be that way for everybody. You got to keep in mind, I'm used to driving a much heavier, larger vehicle than this. A GMC 2500 is typically my daily driver. I also have the little Honda Prelude that I just bought, and so the braking is going to be totally different on both of those vehicles. So for me on this one, it's a little bit different than what I would normally want, but I know I could adjust to it quickly. Steering is good and precise. Comfortable ride quality for what it is, at least in my personal opinion. So depending on your situation, you can set everything accordingly as far as your different driving modes and different settings go. I showed you that you can actually go in and make quite a few adjustments in quite a few different areas. But overall, as far as the fun factor goes, it definitely does a great job. And it's nice to know that you have so many different options across the different trim levels depending on what it is you want. And there it is, the 2026 Dodge Charger Scat Pack Blacktop. Is it the sport car you have been looking for? Tell me what you think down in the comments section. I'm curious to receive your feedback. I would like to say a special thanks to my friends at Hebert's Town & Country for loaning us this Charger for the day so we could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That's not only appreciated, but very helpful to us. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out one of the videos that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.